LEGO Worlds is an incredible game. It's like having an endless bucket of Legos. You can build a huge castle or a small house in the clouds. Learn how to design and create your own world with me in this tutorial series. Become a master designer/builder. In this series, you'll learn how to design and build many different architectural styles. We'll cover lighting, furnishing, and decorating, interior and exterior spaces. We'll build castles, dungeons, bridges, skyscrapers, and even a spaceship. So get your game ready and follow along. Hey guys, welcome back to Designing and Building in LEGO Worlds. My name's Brandon, this is Max. If you guys watched the last episodes, we built a Gothic church in Monster Town, and it was pretty amazing, and Max had a great time. Now, with Christmas and other holidays quickly approaching, we wanted to do something a little more appropriate for wintertime. So, we are going to build a Santa's workshop in this awesome palace. Yep, Max is feeling pretty good about it. So we're going to do something a little bit different in this episode. We are going to take an existing building and completely change it. We're going to use the main building as the base, and we're going to add an interior, and we're also going to change and add on to the exterior. You'll find this giant, beautiful palace in the new festive DLC that is a free update with LEGO Worlds that is now live on all platforms. Max has climbed to the very top of the main tower and he's taking a look at this beautiful biome. There's snow everywhere, there's beautiful snowflakes, there's candy canes, and there are a bunch of neighborhoods that are decorated with festive holiday lights. The first thing we want to do is take a look at our space, and we've got quite a bit of room, but you know what? We are going to need a large space for Santa's workshop because we're going to need a large spot for toy production. We'll need a space for toy storage. We'll also need a runway for Santa's sleigh, and we need a command center with computers so we can manage the enormous naughty and nice list. Max says he is definitely on the nice list this year. I hope you guys are too. And we would like to build a lounge or some kind of observatory where Santa can relax with his donut and his coffee. Now, since this could turn into a very big project, which Max doesn't mind, but for time's sake, we're going to try and use the copy tool as much as possible. We've got a great big empty space to work with, but we do want to get rid of these benches. We're going to leave the trees in place and we're going to decorate them with lights. Max has studied the castle closely and made sure that whatever we build is going to match and mimic what is already here. The first thing that we're going to do is take this line here and bring it up higher. So to do that, we need to remove some of these pieces. We're going to do that by using our build tool, and we're going to click our right mouse button to remove. Now we're going to select the blocks that are already there with the picker tool, and we're going to place some of them. Now we're going to fill in some of the missing pieces here. We're going to keep building this wall higher. We're going to keep building and create an entire section that we can copy and paste throughout. Now that we have built a section of wall that we can repeat, we want to take this window opening and create one just like it up here. To do that, we're going to remove some of these bricks, and we're going to select these and build an opening just like it. Now that we've created the opening, we're going to fill in the extra spaces. Now we're going to do the same thing on the back. We're going to mimic the blocks that are already in place. For the roof line, we are going to mimic this edge. Now we're going to cap it with some of these pyramid pieces like this. Alright, Max has created an entire wall that we can now copy and paste, and it will save us a lot of time. So now we've opened up the copy tool. We're going to find the first point. We're going to click and drag. Make sure we get the whole piece in, and then we're going to drag upwards. Now don't worry if you didn't get the entire piece in. You can always adjust it when you get to this point. Now you're going to click edit and save. Now we want to think about how this is going to work. If we were to copy this whole thing, we wouldn't be able to paste it very easily. So what we're going to do is just select the portion that we know will be easy to replace. Selecting just this middle portion will make it much easier to paste, and you'll see later on when we start pasting. So we're going to adjust these boxes here, move them in, and make sure we only get up to that point. Now we're going to do this side. Now we're going to move the bottom of the box all the way up here, because that way we won't have to delete all of these pieces when we're copying and pasting. Now that we have our box right, let's go ahead and click box select, and then now we're going to use the right mouse button to remove these extra pieces here. Perfect, it is ready to be copied and pasted. So let's go ahead and save it. We're going to call it main wall. Now that we have our wall section copied, we're going to paste it. Now we're going to be able to paste it in a lot of spots, but there are some places like this where the sizing is a little bit different, so we'll have to create a separate wall for those areas. But this is going to save Max a ton of time. Max is going to start by removing the same pieces we did last time. So now we have our copied wall ready to go. Now we need to turn off blending, because we don't want it to add a bunch of bricks here. And it looks like that is in the right spot, but you may need to rotate your camera a little bit and make sure that it's in the exact spot that you need. If you do it wrong, you can always hit the Z key and undo it. So let's see, is this right? Yes, that looks correct. Good job, Max. Now that we have these two placed, we can continue placing the other ones. All right, Max, you are doing a fantastic job. Don't get too close to the edge there, though. You guys, now that we have finished copying and pasting the single sections of windows, now we're going to create these sections here, the dual windows, and we're going to copy and paste those as well. Now that we've got all of the window walls placed, we're going to fill in the extra gaps in between the walls. All right, guys, Max is doing a pretty incredible job, and we have the main part of the building completed. So we are going to now paint the rest of the building before we do any more work. So for that, we are going to use the paint tool. Now, another thing you can do is replace. You can select a certain color, and then you can replace it. The only problem is when you do that, it can change the bricks. So in this case, it takes away our slopes. And we don't really want to do that. So we're going to do it manually. Now that could be a glitch and they could fix that in the future. But for now, we are going to have to use the paint tool and we are going to have to paint it manually. But that's not so bad. We can still do it pretty quickly. But Max, that is the wrong color. So we're going to go into paint and brushes and we are going to select bright red because most of our building is going to be red and we're also going to have green accents. One other thing that we should mention is that you can change the brush size with the Q and the E keys on PC. When you press the E key, you get a larger brush size. When you press the Q, it gets smaller. So it just depends on how much you want to paint at the same time. So if we make this brush as big as possible with the E key, we can get quite a bit, but notice that the red kind of spills onto the ground. So if we go ahead and paint it now, it's going to be way too much red. So we can move it up a little bit and then we can get the red in all the places that we want. And then later on we can come back and we can do the bottom level of the bricks. So we're going to go ahead and keep painting. Now, as you're painting, you're going to want to spin around your building and just make sure that you're not painting anything that you don't want to paint. You can always fix it later on, but it's easier just to paint initially what you want painted, if that makes sense. Now we're going to make our brush smaller and we're going to paint the bricks that we missed. Max really likes the way the dark green looks with the red. It looks very Christmassy and Santa will love it. So we're going to paint some green accents on the building. Now in order to do this, we need to make our brush very small because we have to paint some very fine details. We've added a bunch of green accents to the building and it looks pretty Christmassy. Now we're going to add some white. Max and I are really liking the white accents. This is looking more and more like a Santa's workshop palace. Now we're going to add some lights to the exterior. To do this, we're going to use the 1x1 flower paint and we're going to use the white glow color. Creating strands of lights in LEGO Worlds is a little bit difficult because blocks want to always attach to a surface, which makes sense. If you were building Legos in real life, they'd be stacking on each other. So to create the strands of lights, I like to create multiple lines of lights and then I'll go through and I'll delete the extras so that it looks like there's a nice strand of lights. This method does take a little bit of time, but it seems like it is the best way to do this. But if you guys have a better method, then please leave it in the comments section. Now that we've created a solid wall of lights, we're going to go through and delete the extras. That's it. Now we've got a beautiful strand of lights, but we want to alternate white and red lights. So to do that, we're going to paint some red neon lights. Look how awesome those lights look. They almost look like candy cane stripes. Pretty sweet. So now we're going to copy that strand and we're going to paste it around the building. To do that, we're going to use our copy tool. I find it's easiest to get a top-down view and then click and drag and then adjust your view again and drag upwards. Now we're going to edit the box and make sure we only have what we want selected. Now that we have light strands on the front and the back, we want to light up some of these plates on the very top. To do that, we are going to use the paint tool. And since we've already painted some things, we can use the picker to select the color that we want. Now Max does not want Santa to accidentally run into one of these towers with his sleigh, so we are going to put lights on the very top as well. We like the way this looks so much that we're going to add more lights to the rest of the building. Hey balloon guys! The red and white lights are looking beautiful. Now we are going to remove one of the drawbridge doors and we're going to create a landing and takeoff strip so that Santa Claus can easily land and take off with his sleigh. We want to match the width of the opening, so we're using the 6x14 plate in the red color. Alright, that looks like it's just about long enough for Santa to be able to land and take off with his sleigh. So the next thing we're going to do is create some supports for this bridge, and we're going to do it in the same style as these columns here. Max really likes the way this looks. He thinks it looks like a reindeer. So we're going to finish this column off, and then we are going to copy and paste it to save time. If you don't know where something should line up, sometimes it's easy just to build a bridge of Legos, and then you know exactly where they should line up. And then all you have to do is remove the extra Lego. Now we're going to light up the runway to make it easier for Santa to take off and land. Alright Max, why don't we test this out? We are going to place Santa's sleigh right here on the runway, and we'll see how well this works. You ready, Max? Alright, let's hop on the sleigh. Oh man, this is pretty cool. You guys look at this. Okay Max, ready to go? Let's see, how do we control this sleigh? Let's see, we drive steer, okay, WASD, hop, okay. You can hop? What? Huh, don't think that hops. Okay, and this horn. Okay, so then I think we just have to... Oh. Okay, how do we go up? Okay, like that. Yes! Max! Oh my gosh. It works! Woohoo! Okay, Max. Let's see if landing is just as easy. I don't think it's going to be. Alright, let's see. We gotta get... Okay, now we need to go down. This is gonna be really hard, Max. Let's go this way a little bit. Then this way. Then we need to go down. Then this way, then down. Okay. Do we need to go up a little? Oh, no, Max! Alright, so landing is going to be a little difficult, but at least we know that taking off is super easy. Right, Max? Now that we have the exterior mostly finished, we are going to start working on the interior. We need a spot for toy production, we need a spot for toy storage, we have to have a spot where you can load up Santa's sleigh, and we need a computer center to keep track of the nice and the naughty list. The first thing we are going to do is extend the runway so that we have a place to load up Santa's sleigh. Now I know I said we were going to keep these trees, but they're going to get in the way, so we're going to remove them for now, and then we will put some lit trees in Santa's workshop after we are done. To remove these trees, the easiest way is to use the flatten tool. Now pay close attention to what the highlighted area is doing. Make sure that when you are flattening that the highlighted area does not affect any of your building. So what I'm going to want to do is remove a little bit at a time because I can't really tell where the edge of the trees are. So I'm going to flatten a little bit and then move a little bit more and keep flattening. If you mess up, just use the undo command. After Max removed the trees, we noticed there were some spots that didn't get painted, so we're going to fix that. In this area here, right by our runway, we are going to create some toy storage. We're going to build a bunch of shelves and put a bunch of toys on them so the elves can easily load up Santa's sleigh before he takes off. Before we get started building the shelves, we're actually going to put in the floor, and we're going to use the 1x1 round plate. In the new festive DLC update from LEGO Worlds, there is a brand new 1x4x2 fence spindled brick that's pretty awesome. You can find it by tracking down one of those pesky troublemakers. So we're going to use that as a railing. Now that we've got the railings in, we are going to add a 1x1 circle plate in white. Now we're going to remove a couple of the railings where Santa's sleigh will be loaded up. Now we're going to build the shelves. We're going to build the shelves pretty high up so we can leave plenty of space for toys. If you're not sure how high or how big you want to make things, just look at the other lines in your architecture. We're going to match up with this line right here at the bottom of the window. So we're going to see what toys we can fit onto these shelves. Some of the toys are really big and others are small. The plane is really big, but it looks like we can fit a few of them on the top shelf, so why don't we do that? The toy car is one of the smaller toys, so we can fit quite a few of these up here. It looks like the spaceship is pretty small, so we can fit a few of these on here as well. And the toy robot that looks like Wally is pretty small, so we're going to fit some of these guys onto the shelves. And looks like the toy fire engine is pretty small too, so we'll put some of those on the lower shelves. And finally we have a toy train, so we're going to put some of those on these shelves. Okay guys, the toy storage area is looking pretty awesome and Max loves it. He actually wants several of these toys. So Max, as long as you are on the nice list, you just might get some of these for Christmas. Who knows? Okay guys, the next thing we're going to do now is create a production area right over here. We're going to put it near the storage area so that it's easy to get toys from production into storage. So we're going to do that right over here, and it's going to be very similar to the layout of the toy storage area. Now we are going to build some tables for toy production. Our worker elves are going to need a place to sit while they work, so we're going to put a bunch of chairs in. Now we're going to put some objects on the tables that our little elves would be working on. We're changing out some of the green chairs for the yellow swivel chair. Now it doesn't match exactly with our red and green and white color scheme, but the LEGO characters can actually use this chair. They can sit in it, unlike the green chairs. So this way, our little elves can actually sit at the table while they work. Hey Max, you better start building some toys. Stop slacking, buddy. Now that we have an area for our elves to make toys, and we have a place to store them, and we have this awesome runway for Santa's sleigh, now we need to make a command center. Because we have this big, naughty, and nice list, and it's huge. And so we have to make all these computers to store it. And we also need a place where we can track Santa's flight throughout the world. And we're going to put an observatory right over here. That's a place where Santa can relax, and he can have his croissant, his coffee, and his donuts, and he can make sure that the elves are making awesome toys. No lead paint. Right, Max? Yep. The next thing we're going to do is remove some of these corner bricks, and we're going to build a corner staircase. Great job, but you almost forgot a very important detail. We need a spot for the reindeer to relax and a place where they can sleep at night and also where they can eat their dinner. So we are going to cut a hole into the side of the building where we have those big empty spaces. Alright, so this is where our reindeer are going to hang out and spend the night. Nice little cozy area for them. Maybe we should put some food down for them. What do you think they like to eat, Max? So they probably like to eat carrots, so let's get some of these down. Nicely done, Max. Now the reindeer have a spot where they can hang out and relax and eat their carrots. Alright guys, Santa's workshop is all done and we love it a lot. It turned out really beautiful. I think Santa and his elves are going to make some pretty awesome toys in this place. If you enjoyed the episode, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to follow Max's adventures and designing and building in LEGO Worlds, then please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.